You've just stepped off a 15-hour flight, your entire life packed into a few suitcases, and you're standing in the middle of New York JFK Airport. Finally, you are in America, the land of opportunity. Everyone back home thinks you finally made it. Even you believed you've escaped the rat race of your home country. But do you want to know the truth? You haven't escaped anything, at least not yet. You only switched lanes, because here is the thing no one tells you. The rules are different in America. Yes, with over 1 million immigrants arriving in the US each year, some will thrive and many more will be blindsided by the things they didn't know. Today, we will talk about 20 things every immigrant wishes they knew before stepping foot in America. Some of these might surprise you, and some could save you years of frustration. So, you ready? Let's get right into it. But first, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Tolulope Michael, your host and guide to finding the latest updates on EdTech, immigration, and much more. Now, let's start with one of the biggest shocks for immigrants. Credit rules everything. In many countries, people pay for everything in cash, but it's all about credit in America. And if you don't have a credit history, well, it's like you don't exist financially. A 2019 TransUnion study found that over 20% of immigrants have no credit score upon arrival, meaning they struggle to rent an apartment, get loans, or even sign up for a phone plan. TransUnion also estimates that over 40% of new immigrants struggle with establishing their credit history. 40% struggle with establishing their credit history. As an immigrant or someone planning to become one very soon, your first line of action is to get a secured credit card, or consider programs like Experian Boost that count utility and phone payment toward credit scores. Okay, and I talk about this often because I know how it can set you back as an immigrant. So this should be among the top 5 things to do if you are a new immigrant, right? Number 2 on my list is healthcare is not free. This one shocks nearly everyone, especially immigrants from countries with public healthcare systems. Because in the US, healthcare is primarily private, and without insurance, medical bills can cripple you financially. According to Kaiser Family Foundation, the average annual premium for employer-sponsored health insurance in 2023 was about $7,739 for single coverage. But this is where the system throws you a curveball. Even if you have insurance, you still have to pay out of pocket for co-pays, deductibles, and other fees. Just a routine doctor's visit can cost anything between $150 to $300. An ER visit without insurance can even run into $1,000 or more. So it's important for you as an immigrant to learn how to navigate Affordable Care Act marketplaces to find healthcare plans you qualify for and understand Medicaid options based on your state of residence. And you also must learn this fast because it will save you a lot of expenses. Now, moving on to number 3, taxes in the US are complex. Yes, one of the most confusing things immigrants face is the US tax system. In many countries, taxes are straightforward, but here, there's a federal, state, and local taxes, all with their own rules. The Tax Foundation estimates that the average US household pays about 24% of their entire income in taxes, once you factor in all levels. So the thing is, new immigrants often fail to understand concepts like deductions, credit, and the progressive tax rate system that they have here, where the more you earn, the higher the percentage of the taxes you pay. For instance, the federal income tax bracket range from 10% to 37%, depending on your income level. So here is one pro tip for you. Don't attempt to file your taxes alone in the first few years. Consider using tax professionals to help you navigate the complexities, okay? And honestly, it will save you a lot of headache. Moving on to number 4, fourth thing immigrants wish they knew is that the cost of living varies by region. A lot of immigrants arrive with preconceived notions about how far their money will go in the US. But here's the truth. The cost of living can differ drastically depending on where you live. For instance, the cost of living in San Francisco is about 80% higher than Cleveland, Ohio, according to the Council for Community and Economic Research. Even from my personal experience, housing is often the biggest expense in cities like New York. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment exceeds about $3,500 per month, whereas in more affordable states like Texas, you could pay as little as $1,200 for the same size apartment, and that is according to a Zillow report. Now, what does this mean, really? Where you settle as an immigrant can drastically affect your financial well-being. Okay, now for instance, cities like Houston or Phoenix are seeing a surge in immigrant populations simply because of their affordability and growing job market. Okay, and that should tell you something if you're coming to America anytime soon. Moving on to number 5. Number 5 is that the culture shock is real. Yes, so while the US is a melting pot of cultures, adjusting to the social norms here in America can take time. According to a Pew Research study, 44% of immigrants report experiencing some form of culture shock within their first year of arriving in the US. From understanding social cues to navigating workplace environment, things can feel vastly different. For example, the tipping culture is something that catches many immigrants off guard. Like in restaurant, you tip like 15 to 20% is customary, and not tipping is considered rude. Okay, and where I come from, tipping someone is more like an act of generosity, and if you don't do it, nobody calls you out for it. But here, you have to. If you don't, you're seen as being rude. So it is important to give yourself grace during this transition. You want to join local immigrant communities for support, whether through religious organizations or online forums like Reddit and Facebook groups. This can help you get used to the system faster. And on number 6, this is a very touchy topic for many, and that is racism and discrimination. The US has a complicated history with race and immigrants, and these immigrants often face xenophobia or racial discrimination, especially those who are visibly different. A Pew Research report from 2023 found that 35% of Black immigrants reported experiencing some form of discrimination within their first year in the US. In particular, Black immigrants from Africa often face a double layer of prejudice, both as immigrants and as Black individuals. It is important to understand these social dynamics and arm yourself with knowledge about anti-discrimination laws and also how to report unfair treatment in housing, employment, or education. Personally, my advice is to have a combination of resilience, awareness, and what? Action. Okay, first, it's essential to understand that discrimination can happen in many subtle ways, whether in job opportunities, wages, or even day-to-day interactions. So building a strong support network of other immigrants or joining cultural or advocacy groups can help you navigate this new reality. Organizations like ACLU and NAACP, they often offer resources that are designed to support those facing racial discrimination. In addition to this, arm yourself with practical knowledge. You want to be proactive about understanding your rights under US laws, such as Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination in employment and housing. See, you have the power to stand up for yourself, and knowing how to file a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission or Department of Housing and Urban Development is a very valuable tool. Unfortunately, discrimination can be a painful reality, but taking steps to educate yourself and stand up for your rights is one of the best ways to overcome these challenges. Now let's go on to number 7. Number 7 thing every immigrant wishes they knew beforehand. Networking is key. In the US, career success is not just about what you know. is who you know and who knows you. Yes, Harvard Business Review report that 65% of jobs are found through networking. And of course, this can be challenging for immigrants who don't have established networks in the country, I know. But this is what you can do. You want to start by attending local business meetups, joining LinkedIn groups, or participating in industry conferences. Some of you go to churches, some of you go to some meetings. One surprising place to network you may not know about is community colleges. Yes, these are affordable education hubs where many professionals teach or attend, and this offers you a great way to connect with your local connections. Now, if you're lucky, maybe even land a job, all right? And this takes me to number 8. Number 8, immigration paperwork takes time. Immigrants often underestimate how long the immigration process can take. For the sake of clarity, be aware that the US Citizenship and Immigration Services has over 8 million cases pending as of 2023. 8 million cases. And this is because applications for green cards, citizenship, or even work permit can take years to process, depending on your visa category. I mean, this one will test your patience. For example, employment-based green cards can take anywhere from 1 to 4 years, depending on your employer's sponsorship and even your country of origin. Countries like India and China, they have particularly long wait times, with some applicants waiting over 10 years due to per country limits. Okay? The way to go here is to make sure to file all necessary paperwork early, stay updated with your immigration lawyer, and check for potential delays in your case. It's a long wait, but in the meantime, enjoy the process as much as you can. Number 9 thing immigrants wish they knew is that education is expensive. After about a decade living in America, the irony of this particular one makes me laugh at myself now. Yeah, one of the major reasons I wanted to come to America was the opportunity to give my kids a better education than I had access to. But do you know how much it costs to send one child to a really good college in America? Higher education in America is among the most expensive in the world. Forbes report that the average student loan debt per borrower is $37,574. And international students often face even higher tuition rates. Okay, now imagine coming into the country with a teenager. There's just a lot you need to plan out properly. And if you or your wards plan to pursue higher education as an immigrant, you want to look into community colleges first, because they offer more affordable tuition and they also allow students to transfer to 4 years universities. Okay, scholarship as well and grants for immigrants are also available through organizations like the Dream.us and FWD.us. So look into those and take advantage where you can. The number 10 point to take note is this: the job market is competitive. While the US is known for its job opportunities, the competition is fierce. If you think you work hard where you're coming from, you haven't seen anything yet. People don't play here. Yes, they don't play. Immigrants make up 17% of the US workforce, and that's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That means you're competing against both locals and other immigrants for jobs. In highly skilled industries like tech or healthcare, having the right certifications and networking is key to landing a job. So consider volunteering or interning in your field while you search for that job to build connections and gain US work experience. Trust me, you want to give yourself as much edge as you can. Now, as challenging as those last 10 points may sound, number 11 on my list is the fact that Black immigrants face unique challenges. Yes, as we discussed earlier, Black immigrants face specific challenges that are related to both their race and their immigration status. Again, according to the Pew Research, 58% of Black immigrants report experiencing discrimination, and many also struggle to find economic equality. And this research also shows that Black immigrant households have lower median incomes and 24% of black immigrants live in poverty compared to 14% of all immigrants. So this is a typical case of we all have it bad, but some people have it worse than others. Yes, meaning even in challenges, all fingers are not equal. So understanding these barriers very early can help you strategize and find resources such as organizations like the Black Alliance for Just Immigration to support your transition. You want to find the help you need as soon as you can. It will make a lot of difference. Now let's look at number 12 on the list, the importance of knowing your visa status. You would think everyone would automatically know something as important as their status, but that's a wrong assumption. Yes, one of the most critical things immigrants often overlook is the complexity of maintaining their visa status. Failing to understand the specific restrictions of your visa type can lead to serious consequences, including deportation. The American Immigration Council has it that there are about 180 different types of US visas, each with its own regulations. For example, a student visa, which is F1, limits your work opportunities to on-campus employment and certain internships, while a tourist visa, B2, prohibits any form of employment. Now, violating these rules can result in visa termination. So, as an immigrant, you need to stay informed about visa policies and you ensure that you comply with the US immigration laws. Once again, it's good that you save yourself the stress and work closely with an immigration lawyer to avoid costly mistakes. We have arrived at point number 13, which is immigration policies can change overnight. Yes, US immigration policy is constantly evolving and changes can happen quickly. In fact, according to the Migration Policy Institute, there have been over 400 executive actions on immigration during the last few presidential terms. Yes, 400. So staying informed about these shifts is very crucial, especially if you are applying for long-term visas or green cards. Policy adjustment can impact your eligibility as well, can impact your wait times, and also impact your documentation requirement. So keeping track of these developments ensures that you won't be caught off guard during your immigration journey. Many immigrants have had their dreams crushed simply because of policies that they were not aware existed. My advice again is work with an immigration lawyer and stay updated. Okay? Now, next on my list of things immigrants wish they knew before coming to America, number 14 is legal representation is expensive but not necessary. Another big surprise for many immigrants is that the cost of legal services in the US, they didn't know how expensive it is. Navigating the immigration system without a lawyer can be daunting and also risky. You must be thinking, but Tolu, you said we should work with an immigration lawyer. Well, some things are more expensive than others. The American Immigration Lawyers Association estimates that the cost of filing for green card ranges between $1,500 to $5,000 depending on the complexity of the case. Okay, and many immigrants, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, they skip hiring an attorney and end up making mistakes on their applications that lead to delays or even deportation orders. If this is what you have been doing or intend to do too, you need to stop now before the consequences hit. As a matter of fact, and as a matter of necessity, budget for legal fees or look for non-profit and immigration advocacy groups that can provide low-cost legal help, such as the Catholic Charities or the RACES, the RAICES. Okay, you don't want to come this far only to be sent back home because you don't want to stretch your finances a bit. You understand that? Now let's go to point number 15, which is owning property takes time. The American dream of ownership is appealing and very ingrained in the American culture. But for many immigrants, it's a goal that takes time to achieve. According to the National Association of Realtors, only 25% of recent immigrants own homes, compared to the national average of 65%. Several barriers also make this challenging, such as unfamiliarity with the US real estate market, high initial cost, and difficulty securing financing. You see, immigrants often face the added pressure of saving for large down payment while adjusting to the new financial environment. However, it is not an entirely impossible feat because with proper planning, financial education, and guidance, home ownership is still very much achievable. Though it may take longer than expected, so you want to hang in there. It is possible and you can achieve it. Number 16 might catch you off guard, but is the reality in America and is the fact that there is a strong emphasis on personal branding. Take it or leave it. In the US, personal branding is essential for career success. From social media to LinkedIn, Americans place a high value on how you present yourself professionally. In fact, a career builder survey revealed that 70% of employers use social media to screen candidates before hiring. Having a strong online presence, especially on professional platforms like LinkedIn, can open doors for networking and job opportunities, making it a crucial part of building your career even as an immigrant. So if you don't have a social media presence, you want to look into that. And I'm not saying that you must become a sensation overnight or become a constant content creator. No, but at least be discoverable online. Okay? Let's go to number 17. You may already be familiar with this. Working multiple jobs is common, but tough. Yes. And it's one of the toughest pills immigrants have to swallow on arrival to survive. See, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics report that about 5% of American workers hold multiple jobs. For immigrants, especially those with families to support, working more than one job can be a necessity. However, this can also lead to a burnout and health issues. So it is important that you understand that while hustling is part of the American dream, it's equally critical to pace yourself. Try to find higher paying jobs that offer benefits, even if they are harder to land initially. For those with professional skills, certifications in areas like IT or healthcare can unlock better paying positions faster. But again, the effort is all worth it in the end. Number 18 shouldn't be surprising at all, and it shouldn't surprise you much. But in case you didn't know, your native language could be a good mind. Yes. See, before arriving in America, most immigrants, they are unaware that speaking more than one language can be a huge asset in the US job market. A 2023 report from New American Economy found that immigrants who are bilingual can earn up to 20% more than those who speak only English. With increasing demand for multilingual employees, your native language could provide valuable opportunities. From customer service roles to translation services, this will boost your earning potential. So if you need to brush up your language skills to make them more marketable, you better get to work already. Okay? Your first source of income in America may just be waiting for some polishing. Now, you should pay close attention to number 19 because it is a fact that you will need to navigate immigration scams. Yes, according to OECD, immigrants tend to have lower financial literacy than native-born Americans. This makes it easier for them to fall victim to scams or bad financial decisions. From understanding how to save and invest to navigating high-interest loans, financial literacy is a huge predictor of success. If you don't want to fall victim, once again, you need knowledge. Programs like Financial Literacy for Newcomers by Bank of America or Immigrant Financial Services, they offer courses that teach new arrivals how to manage their wealth and how to manage their money wisely. Learning these skills can prevent you from being overwhelmed by debt or making poor investment decisions. So don't stop learning, okay? And ignorance is not bliss, especially not in America. And with that, we've arrived at number 20 thing immigrants wish they knew before coming to America. The American dream isn't a straight line. Honestly, the American dream is not as simple as it seems. Why? Pew Research shows that while 60% of immigrants say they are better off after coming to the US, many still face significant challenges. For Black and Hispanic immigrants, the road is even more difficult with persistent wage gaps and employment discrimination. Now, the key is perseverance. That's the key to this. Many immigrants think they will find immediate success, but the truth is, it can take years or even decades to build a stable life in the US. So you will need to be patient, stay informed, and then keep moving forward. So guys, there you have it. 20 things every immigrant wishes they knew before arriving in America. From financial pitfalls to visa complexities, these insights are in no way meant to scare you, but to give you a realistic understanding of what to expect. Now, if you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I hope I've been able to leave you better than I found you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.